Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but you know my status. I'm working hard to create a really nice saltwater range for Mediterranean and not only. And some really cool stuff are about to happen. However, you thought you got rid of me and my English, or should I say Greeklish, or no, this is never gonna happen. So, while it might take a while to come out with some saltwater awesome stuff, I don't want to wait that long. So I will take the opportunity to discuss with you guys and also the beginners about some things that might have slipped our mind. If this weather allows me, because now it's sunny but also changes to cloudy, rainy and then sunny again, I hope I will have enough time today to discuss about something very, very important. The rod, the shore jigging rod. So, yep, we all know the shore jigging masterclass series that we had so far, that these videos are targeting the most experienced anglers. But what about the new anglers, the guys that start now? So I'm going to prepare now a range of videos just for these guys to help them move forward step by step. But these videos are not only for beginners, because they have some tips that even more experienced anglers might have missed. So join me in this new range of videos that we're going to discuss our equipment step by step. Okay, and we start with the rod, of course, the most important part of our setup. It does most of the job. So let's start with that right now. While we call this fishing style shore jigging, we need to understand that shore jigging has evolved and new lures has changed the game dramatically. In this video, we are going to analyze everything. So, the first thing I'm going to discuss is the action of a shore jigging rod. And what is the difference between the past and now? First of all, if you observe, especially in Japan, there are not any more shore jigging rods as shore jigging rods. If you check, there are maybe very few or maybe even absent, because the fishing style even there changed, and also here changed. And stick baits and bigger topwater lures, poppers or sinking pencils or heavy minnows intrude in our fishing lives. And this is why today's shore jigging rods are different from the past. And what I want to say by that, what we do now is not 100% shore jigging, but something like heavy lure fishing or offshore casting. That would be the most appropriate to describe what we do. And the range of lures that we cast is really big. So the biggest difference of the shore jigging rods of the past with today is the action. Because the first shore jigging rods were moderate action or medium action, call it as you want. And that makes sense, because when you do shore jigging and you jig a jig, the more progressively it darts, it's easier to attract predators. Having said that, a jig that acts with a very fast rod like this, it gets really less strikes than a rod that gives a more progressive kick, like up. So to have a more progressive kick. However, a moderate rod will never give appropriate action to a sinking pencil, to a popper, or to a sinking heavy minnow. No, because the moderate action of the rod will consume some of its sharpness to the lure, and the command that you give will be missed by the softer tip of the rod. This is why the modern shore jigging rods are something between moderate fast, medium fast, and their action is somehow unique. So you have a sharp tip that gives a nice action to a sinking pencil, but also the overall length performance is not extremely fast, so it's enough to give also a live action to the jig, and that's exactly what we need from our rod. So as a general rule, medium action rods are not the ideal for what we do today if we plan to use minnows, pencils, or any other fishing style lures. What we can see on a shore jigging rod or a rock shore rod is usually that the 1/3 works nicely of the rod and the 2/3 stay more stiff, ready to give you the extra power that they reserve when you get a big strike or a snag. We always dream for a big strike, yes. So that's the most important thing. Okay, so guys, action should be medium fast for start. Okay, please note that. The second thing we have to talk about is the length of a rod. So we can see that there are rods, shore jigging rods from 2.75 meters up to 320 meters. Do they all serve us the same way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So the longer a rod is, it will provide a better casting, but I leave a small question mark here and I will explain you later. It gives more length on fighting a fish, but it also consumes a lot of power from your hand. It's way more tiring because of the lever action of the rod. Plus, it consumes sharpness on micro commands on other lures. So you can expect that with a 3 meter and 20 centimeter rod, you can have more bore action on a sinking pencil. While with a 2.75 meters rod, you can have a sharper action on the same lure. Plus, with a 2.75 meters, you can jig all day. And with a 3 meter and 20 centimeters, you will need a break much more often. So that's the first thing about the overall length. If you ask me, I feel very comfortable with rods between 2.95 to 3 meters. And believe me guys, even 5 centimeters in the length of the rod play a huge matter in your fishing. 5 centimeters, huge matter, believe me. Another advantage of longer rods, I still leave a small question mark and I will explain later, is that the long rods, when you fish in progressive or shallower areas, because they are longer and if they have enough power and they don't curve too much, they can help you lift an aggressive fish, let's say a snapper, on a shallow area with full of obstacles inside. Where a 2.75 meter shore jigging rod, because it's shorter and with a curve, the angle gets less and it's harder to lift a fish. Of course, you can always take advantage of the shoreline, so if there are rocks, high rocks, you can go on them and fish, especially if you have a short rod and the area in front of you is shallow or progressive. But still, I have to mention the benefits and the disadvantages of each length, and that's one of them. Now, I hope I will avoid the rain today. So, Now we have to discuss about the rod's power. And that's another very important thing. What do we mean about power? A strong rod that it's unbreakable? The power of the action of the rod or the curve of the rod? That's exactly what. So we can see that there are rockshore rods like medium light, medium heavy, heavy, extra heavy, and so on. And there is a purpose behind that, but that purpose is going hand to hand with what you wanna do. For example, if I want to stay on a deep cape with vertical dark blue waters, targeting for amberjacks in strong currents, then I would definitely go with an extra heavy rod, probably. Absolutely, because I need to use probably big jigs in strong currents for big aggressive predators. So I need all the power I can get. So these rods usually are more stiff and they have a huge reserve of power in their blanks. That means that the curving action is really hard, so you can pull with all of your power. With a rod like that, if you get an 1 kilo bonito, you have absolutely no fun, because it's like fishing with a broomstick. On the other hand, with a medium light shore jigging rod, a rod up to 50 grams or 80 grams, fighting a 1 kilo bonito is fun. On the other hand, you cannot use that rod on deeper areas with strong currents for big fish, because you will probably get I won't say the word, because I'm a very good guy and I'm very polite. So guys, first ask yourself a question: what do I really want to do? Because if you wanna go for the big fish in very rocky areas with a very hard bottom, even if it's not very deep, even if it is 20 meters or 30 meters, but it's a very wild bottom full of big rocks, sharp rocks, then you still need an extra heavy rod to lift fast the grouper, the amberjack or the snapper from there. But if you plan to go for pelagic fishing, for bonitos, for barracudas and other fish that don't necessarily go in the sharp rocks to break your line, mahi-mahi for example, or leerfish, then guys, you don't need an extra heavy rod. With a medium light or even a heavy rod, you can do just fine. Personally, I prefer to fish a standard rods of medium heavy to heavy, and here is the catch. I usually use extra heavy rods in very specific situations, like the one I just explained. A very deep cape with strong currents, big jigs like 150 gram jigs and big predators, then it's an extra heavy. Or if I know that there is a place with very wild bottom, very wild bottom, very hard to lift a fish, even if it's 30 meters, I will still go with an extra heavy rod. Generally, I will use a heavy rod because it helps me in most of the situations. But when I want to be discreet and target for smart fish in high fishing pressured areas, then a medium heavy rod or a medium rod are the rods to go, because I can use a thinner leader. I can go with a 0.45 leader. A leader like that, you cannot use it on heavy or extra heavy rods. So all these things are combined, and this is why I ask you to ask yourself what you wanna do. It's all about that. If you wanna go enjoy fishing and enjoy a fight with a 1 or 3 kilo bonito, then you are a medium heavy or a medium guy. Okay, and for one more time, if you are obsessed with shore jigging, one rod will never be enough. Never. You go on a rocky shore that it's shallow and you wanna walk and cast all day, then it's a medium or a medium heavy rod. So ask yourself, of course, if you live on an area that you have only shallow waters, then you don't need anything more than a medium heavy. But if you live on an island that it's surrounded by very deep waters, then you need an H or a extra heavy rod. Okay, so as I said, the power that describes a rod blank is the one that will judge the style of fishing and the predator that you want to go after. Okay, I hope that helps you. And for the guys that start only now, I suggest that they start with a medium or a medium heavy rod, because guys, you don't want to start with something heavy that it's very tiring, because the heavier the blank power gets, the most tiring the rod is, and usually a bigger reel it needs to balance. So that means less hours of fishing, especially in the case that you are new in the fishing style and you won't have the physical resistance and stamina to fight on the rocks all these hours. Okay, and of course, since we discussed about balance, we have to discuss about the reel combination with the rod. So guys, that's another thing that can ruin your fishing. I remember a problem with a friend that got a very famous shore jigging rod, heavy shore jigging rod, and he was telling me how tiring it was, and he was planning to sell it. I said, it's impossible, it's not that tiring, and he was insisting, no, it's very tiring, I cannot keep on, it's impossible to fight a fish, blah 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 blah. So eventually we went one day together fishing, just to realize that he was using a 6,000 reel, a 6,000 Shimano reel on that rod. That rod was designed to use 8,000 and higher reel. Now you might question how it's possible with a heavier reel a rod to be more easy to use. It's exactly like that, because these rods are designed to balance with specific weight on the reel seat, guys. If you put less weight on the reel seat, then you have more weight in front, so when you jig you don't have the appropriate lever action to your setup. So make sure that when you buy a shore jigging, a rock shore rod, guys, make sure that you also do the right choice of a reel, because if you don't and the weight is not the appropriate for that rod, then you have an insufficient combo that will make you tired and destroy your fishing. Most companies provide adequate reel sizes, at least, so you can compare, but also the most experienced fishing shops can help you decide the ideal reel for your rod. Okay, what about the carbon quality of a rockshore rod? That's another good question. You can find different carbon qualities or combinations that can help you with your fishing rod. The general rule says that the lower tonnage carbon, 24 tonnage carbon, means that the rod is a bit heavier but more elastic. So that means that for a new angler is a good option, because it's very hard to break, but also it doesn't provide you the same information of your lure or of your jig during fishing. It's exactly like that. However, I strongly suggest that new anglers should start from 24 tonnage carbon rods, because if they lift a fish or do something wrong, these carbon qualities tend to help you avoid a breakage. Then the higher you go, 30 ton, 40 ton, 46 or higher, then you get more crisp and lighter rods with a huge amount of detail. You can work a sinking lure and you can actually feel if there is a weed stuck on a treble hook, or you can actually feel the presence of the currents or near the bottom. You can feel that. Sometimes you can even feel an attacking fish that missed your jig and the waters of the attack pushed your jig. It sounds insane, but it had happened many times. Having said that, there are other options for a rod to make it stronger. Some companies like to use, for example, 24 tonnage carbon with a 40 tonnage carbon to get a mixture of resistance and sharpness, or others use a 30 tonnage carbon, which is something in between. And of course, you can get the ultimate results by using extremely high combinations of the top quality carbons out there, like the T800 from Toray or the T1100 from Toray, that many brands love to use percentages of them, like 15 or 20% of 1100 Toray carbon with 40 tonnage carbon or a 30 tonnage carbon, and then you can drop the weight, increase the braking power, and keep a sharp action and performance of your rod that will provide you also the necessary information from your lure in the water. So the carbon plays another critical role in your fishing. The carbon quality also plays a huge role on your casting distance, and here is the question mark that I left in the beginning for the long shore jigging rods that cast farther than shorter ones. So if you have, for example, a 2 meters and 95 centimeters rod made of high quality carbon, and then you have a 3 meter 20 centimeter rod with a medium quality carbon, then the shorter rod can cast even farther than the longer rod. This is why I left the question mark, exactly because of that, because the carbon quality also plays a huge role on the casting distance. Okay, so there are two types of shore jigging rods. The most common, like 90%, are the two pieces rods that are splitted exactly in the middle of the overall length, and there are also some that are asymmetric, so it means that all the guides are on one piece and the other piece is shorter and has no guides on. In the past it was much easier to find rods like that. I love them, but because they are longer, they are not the easiest rod to take with you regarding transportation. This for me doesn't make any sense, because usually they are only 25 centimeters longer than the two pieces rods, so it should be like that. For me it wouldn't make much of a difference, because the advantages that you get from asymmetric rods are huge. Why? Because always the spigot area has no bend at all. If you have that in the middle, you have a very solid place in the middle of your rod. That makes the upper part more fragile and prone to breakage. When you have all the guides on one piece, you have an amazing rod action and you increase the durability of the rod by far. Because the lower you go, the more unwilling to bend is the blank. These are the two rods for rockshore fishing. Then we have the guide system and the guides. The guides also play a huge importance in our fishing from many aspects. So let's first discuss about the metal that they're made of. So in cheaper models they could be very simple guides that eventually with time they will get rusty. Then we have medium range and expensive range rods that they use stainless steel frame guides. Stainless steel, however, it's heavier than titanium. And then we have the high-end rods with titanium guides that, because titanium is much lighter than stainless steel, it promotes the action of the blank and also gives a significant reduce of weight on our rod. So it's up to you to decide and up to your pocket to decide what guides you want your rod to wear. Titanium guides never get rusty, they don't have oxidization problems from the sea salt even if you let them unwashed. Then we have the let's say the porcelain inside the ring. There are several qualities of rings in the guides. The most common for shore jigging is SiC guides or similar silicon carbide porcelain rings because they show a huge resistance in braid fishing. I personally suggest alconite or silicon carbide. Alconite are also fine or similar quality porcelains. They don't necessarily have to be Fuji, just be that quality so you can be ensured that the friction during fishing of the braid is minimal, so it will help you use your rod for more hours and with less fatigue rather than having a porcelain that you cannot trust, that makes you feel tired and also eventually it will get destroyed by the braid. And last we have the shape of the guides. These could be lowrider or K guides. Both serve as well. I usually prefer on my medium and medium H rods to have lowrider guides and many on the blank, because many guides might give a bit of more weight on your rod, but they give a much better performance on your blank because the arches between each guide are smaller, so you get use a much more curve and you use the most of the power and action of your blank. The less the guides, the worse, because you have bigger arches, and that means that you don't use the blank power because the contraction between each guide is really big and you lose blank power. Then we have the EVA handle length. Guys, each brand uses different qualities of EVA. Some are really hard to get scratch, others are very easy. That's up to the company. But honestly, what you really care for, from a shore jigging rod is a really long rear handle that can fit way under your arm, so you can have a very good leverage. So before you buy a shore jigging rod, please try and see if it sits really well under your armpit, and to have also a satisfying front handle length, because when you fight you usually hold from here your rod. And that's the last thing I wanted to say about the rods. I hope I helped you with this video. I know it was a lot of talking and not too much fishing, but eventually it is something that I wanted to share, and it's a good opportunity to take advantage of this time that I have before I start fishing again very soon, to help anglers have a better overview about the rods of our favorite fishing style, the rockshore fishing style. Okay, I hope you liked it. Guys, please comment under this video, and remember, I'm always here to help. Nothing in this world will change me, will change who I am and what I offer to the angler society. Okay. The good thing, guys, is that Westin agrees 100% for me to keep my contribution to the fishing society, providing fishing information, tips, how to. And our common goal is not promoting stuff, simply because these guys are anglers themselves. They are not irrelevant people that sit in an office and check the financial status of the company. No, they are anglers. So I was threatened that I'm going to get fired if I won't go often fishing, and if the gear that I'm going to develop won't comprehend to the demands of saltwater anglers. And that makes me extremely happy, guys, because finally I can do whatever I want without any limitation about cost, about quality, about anything. So just wait. Okay, always yours, Markos Vidalis. I love you all.